of chemistry, so I didn't even get to go to advanced or control.
This is the upper right cell. Okay, and then I need to write down 17 degree. It's very important. Okay, I will draw.
Do you know what the stereotype of a tiger parent is?
Yeah, always watching over you, always making you do what she wants. She really wants you to be super educated and go to Harvard, Stanford, MIT all at once, same year.
The parents always want the students, their kids, to study and study, get great scores, right?
Yeah.
That's the stereotype to the Chinese parents or Asian parents. You can only watch your student up to maybe high school. So if they go to college, they are all free. And if no one push them all the time, they will get lost. And also the too much pressure give to them, they don't have time to think about other things and no time to develop their own skill.
It might be effective for certain students, but in the long run, I think it ultimately fails them. However, it might work for some people, so.
Do you think your parents are even close to this? Would you like to elaborate?
She actually allows me to have a lot of free thought. She respects my First Amendment rights.
I think chemistry class we enrolled before, and then he figured he can learn better from the Khan Academy, so we withdrawed.
And do you think he enjoys doing chemistry by himself?
I don't know. Have to ask him. I know a lot of parents are still pushing hard, but a lot of parents are not that pushing hard. And I think also more and more parents, like our generation now, push less than earlier ones. They probably see the results. As I mentioned, the kids go to college and they are on their own. They don't know what to do.
So my perception on what a tiger parent is a parent that's overly making their child do something that they don't really want to do. And it's sort of like a coercive action. They're forcing them to do it.
A tiger parent is considered a parent that is very involved in their children's academic lives and their future job or whatever they're going to do. They're very involved and they tend to be very controlling.
I think that the child sense they sort of focus it on their academics and sort of what they accomplish, and I don't agree with that. I think that what a child's worth should not be determined by their accomplishments and their achievements, because if they're always trying to go for something more, they'll never be satisfied, and that's not a way to live.
So I think as young parents, we really want to give our kids the most. We want to encourage them to try this and try that. And so, yes, I put my kid in piano. I encouraged him to swim and hopefully swim more. And we didn't do the math classes or such. However, for my older son, I got the math workbook and I sat down with him and I tried to work through all of those things and I tried to get them to read quicker and those things. And so I tried all of those, but what happened was my kids, I happened to be given two children who are more stubborn and more set in their ways, and they fought back. So I stepped back, and at a certain point, I allowed them to make their own choices, and they wanted to stop those things. So both of my kids stopped piano very early. I will say, can I just throw this out there? When I was a kid, I was very stubborn. My own mother tried to be a tiger mother. I fought her. And when I was about 13 years old, she gave up. And she said, I'm done trying to force you to do anything. And it was after that that I found my own footing and my own drive that drove me forward. And I think that had she continued to push me, I would have probably made the choices that were not good for myself because I was trying to go against her. And so that is something that I think about a lot with my own children, is I want to encourage them to be the best that they can be and find their passions, but I'm trying really hard not to force them down any certain pathway. But as a parent, it's really, really hard.
My parents do not coerce me to do anything. They're pretty laid back. You know, I pretty much get to play games all day, granted, like, if I'm doing well in school, but they've been lenient for as long as I could remember. They don't really care what I do. Everything that I've done has been self-motivated, so self-driven.
In the beginning, we thought that our parenting skills really helped to shape our kids and their personalities, but that is not the case. They are who they are, and I have to say that my two kids, as they grow older, I see facets of who they are now from when they were babies, when they were toddlers. So I realize a lot of it doesn't have to do with how I have parented them. It is innate who they are. I'm second generation in the United States. My parents immigrated to the United States in the 1960s. So I was born here and I was raised here. I'm not sure, but I do think that parents who immigrate from other countries, where their countries have a certain way of raising their children and a certain way of teaching and having their children achieve, probably, you know, parents, they do what they're familiar with. And so I do think that there are probably some parents in the United States who, if this is how it was done for them as a child, of course they're going to try to emulate it and do that here.
As a parent, I do want the student to learn how to study and to know to get motivation. They're self-motivated and have a goal. They can still play, be happy, that's very important. But still, I think academics still the most important part. Develop in the education, your curriculums at school, and also many soft skills, like leadership and others.
I think it applies to a lot of Asian parenting, because when they grew up, a lot of times they were poor, they had to work hard, they had to be pushed in order to succeed, in order to, you know, come to the United States and say, oh, I got $50, I came here on a flight, some friends helped me out, I had this big test I had to take, you know, things like that. And they really want your success and they're really interested in your success, so they push a lot, and I think that is a stereotype that it's true because of that.